Hey everybody, welcome back to another Slinging Dirt. This week we're going to talk a little something.
Maybe a little something more.
When we're done doing that, we're going to talk a little more, so you do whatever the heck you want. We're staying put. It's Slinging Dirt. We'll be right back. Hey everybody, welcome back to another week of talking something, and then talking even more about something here on Slinging Dirt. So the something, and then something that we're going to talk about this week on this show of Slinging Dirt, Steve Francis, Kentucky Colonel.
Yeah, he took a pretty hard hit to the head last week with a chunk of lead.
Yeah, you know, we were talking about this going into the show, but I forgot about it being lead. Well, what happened to our beloved razor? We're down at Corning, a chunk of lead.
Yep.
Drivers, for the love of God and all it's holy, and we're not making light of this whatsoever, paint the damn chunks of lead on your car. Paint them bright white, and when they're as bright and white as you can get them, go even brighter and put your car number on. But for the love of God, bolt the damn things in.
Right, that's, a lot of guys overlook making sure that the lead bolts are tight. That's quick and easy. You got 4 or 5 chunks of lead on some of these cars. It takes 5 minutes to make sure that they're tight. And I'd rather see something like a chunk of lead over tight than even just a touch loose, because a touch loose, it's going to vibrate loose, it's going to fall off. You wouldn't want it to come into your cockpit or into your car or something like that. So to have it come off of your car and hit somebody, it's not acceptable, guys.
We were down at Corning. We're minding our own business. We're going around turn 3 and 4, and I felt the car puncture something. But when it punctured something, I felt kind of a jolt. And on the modifieds, where the frame horn comes back, the frame comes down, turns out, and then goes back, right where your 3-inch body hole is, I hit a 50-pound chunk of lead. And right where that 3-inch body hole, that's not a very weak part of the frame. That's one of the strongest parts of the frame. And that 50-pound chunk of lead completely impaled that frame right where the hole is. In fact, here's a picture of it. But we actually found a chunk of the lead. And if you remember, I was telling you something came through the cockpit and hit me. And it doesn't matter, you know, you'd be thinking to yourself, how in the world does a chunk of lead come through the cockpit? There's no holes or nothing, but anything's possible on these race cars. Something hit me in the hand, I didn't know what it was, and then you dug the chunk of lead out of the frame rail.
I did, I was looking at it and was like, that doesn't look like an ordinary dirt clod. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, that's a piece of lead.
Yeah.
And I pulled it out and no joke, it was every bit the size of probably a silver dollar.
Yeah, you know, so when I see Steve Francis getting hit in the helmet with a chunk of lead, and it doesn't even matter if it's lead. Bill Layton Jr. last year, I believe, he had that big dirt clod come through the face shield. Now,
opening night at Shelby County Speedway last season.
Yeah. Now, something like that with the dirt clods, we can't control that. But the one damn thing that we can control is mount the damn lead in your car tight and secure. And for the love of God, Jody Mabin down at the head of the safety safari or safety crew down at Adams County Speedway is going to love me saying this. Paint the numbers, paint the lead bright ass white. Put your number on it. In fact, here's a picture of the chunk of lead, or the chunk of lead that came off a car down at Adams County Speedway that I hit. And you can see the corner here, but it's not painted white. No number on it. And as far as I'm concerned, even if it came off my car, if I have a chunk of lead that came off my car because I didn't do maintenance and I didn't tighten the damn thing down, I have every right to get fined $200.
Right.
I mean, we can't have this, people.
And every sanctioning body across the nation, it's mandated in their rules that they're painted white, clearly marked with the car number and or the last name of the driver, and secure. Secure being the key word.
We have low car counts, low fan counts, but we don't need to have parts falling off cars and flying into other cars as being one of the reasons as why we have low car counts. You know, the whole Steve Francis thing, that was perfectly 110% preventable.
Right.
You know, if somebody spins out, if two cars spin out in front of the Kentucky Colonel and one gets in the other and a weight comes shearing off because of a hard hit, that's one thing. But just to run over a weight or to have a weight, you know, come flying off of a car and bounce up and hit you in the helmet, which it did get me to thinking though, what has got to happen to have a 50-pound chunk of lead hit dirt and then bounce up high enough to get into the cockpit of a late model? That is, think about that.
Well, and with the Lucas Oil series like he's running, one thing you got to realize though too is their speeds are far faster than what our local late models are.
Right.
Let's say our late models do 100 on average. These guys are rolling 120, 130.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what it is, something's gonna fall off, it's gonna bounce across the dirt, especially a soft chunk of lead, even at 50 pounds will bounce and it will go vertical, and whatever's coming at it, you're along for the ride, unfortunately, because you can't dodge a chunk of lead, because 9 times out of 10, you don't know it's coming.
Tell you what, we're gonna go to a commercial break, but here's something I kind of, out of curiosity, maybe minor morbid curiosity, for all those of you that watch the show, fans and drivers, what have you seen go through a car, or what have you seen come at you through a car? Just out of sheer curiosity. I've had a chunk of lead, I've had rocks. I mean, I think every driver's had rocks come blasting through their helmet or at their helmet. I've seen air cleaner lids. Now you talk about something spooky, an air cleaner lid at 90 miles an hour going through it looks like, you know, the UFO has landed or something. It's just weird. All you see is a silver flash. I've seen that. I've seen brake calipers, the brake mounts off the rear end. I've seen all kinds of stuff, but probably rocks and the air cleaners. I've seen those the most. So, but lead, that was a new one on me with Adams County this year. But what have you guys seen? So let us know here on Sling Dirt. But we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back to talk about something more, I guess. So this is the Something 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 show. So stay tuned.
Does your car smell as bad as Jamie Songer does? Come on down and we'll take care of you. We're gonna scrub all your vinyl, we're gonna clean all your seats, your carpet, everything. We're gonna put a conditioner on it, make a nice shine. It's gonna last for a long, long time. Then we're gonna hit the outside of your car. We're gonna do a nice hand wash with a buff with a nice hand wax finish. Call us at 282-4339.
Okay, welcome back to Slinging Dirt. We're going to talk about something more. This is the Something 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 show. So, the second something we're going to talk about, for the love of God, lineups. Let's start with here. When they say, Sport Mods, first call Sport Mods, that means you start getting into the Sport Mod lineup shoot. That doesn't mean you go to the snack shed and get dinner, go eat dinner, and then bust ass and haul ass to the lineup shoot. When the tracks, oh my God, that irritates the hell out of me. We have a show running so smooth, and then all of a sudden, it's like nobody could care less. Oh, so they're calling Sport Mods, that's fine. You know, we got plenty of time, let's go get something to eat. Get in the damn car and let's go.
Well, and to defend some drivers out there, if they're busy making changes or, heaven forbid, have to swap a motor or something like that, and you're pressed for time, you're pressed for time. If you can make it, great. If you can't, don't hold the field up, unfortunately.
Yeah. If you're working on the car, any driver is going to respect the fact that if you got to change a motor or set your bar angles or make those last little minute finishes, that's fine. Because at least once you're out there, even if if you're supposed to be fourth row inside and you have to catch the tail of the pack. At least you were ready when you went out. They'll put you where you're supposed to be. But when they're calling for sport mod lineups or hobby stock lineups or whatever class they're calling for lineups, and you got drivers going to the snack shed, come on. You had plenty of time to go do that before the lineups were called.
Well, not only that, but the sport mods, usually they're in the middle of the features. They're in the middle of the show. You've got time to go grab a cheeseburger after the race, trust me. They usually don't close most concession stands down until about the last feature, if not while it's running. So you do have time to go get your cheeseburger and cheese balls.
Yeah. Another thing with lineups, and I just don't quite understand this. There's a lot of us out there that don't, so if you guys want to hate on me, hate on me. But look, I show up at the track. I know most tracks go off of a 1 week or a 2 week point average when they do the lineups. But look, if I show up at Crawford County Speedway this week, do you think I can set the whole field? No. If they tell me, Bud, your second heat, 4th row inside, okay. If they want to tell me, Bud, your last heat, last row outside, okay. I just go where they tell me to. I can't. In fact, sometimes when I have to do lineups, I have to call Kay Shirky or Amy Shirky or somebody. Can you explain this to me? But the one thing I didn't ask, what track we raced at this week, it was double features. They've got, I want to say, somewhere between 14, 16 cars. And a good chunk of cars didn't show up for the double feature. The only reason why they were there the prior week is because their tracks had rained out, so they showed up. Well, this week their tracks rained, so they didn't come all the way back to the track. Well, here's what I don't understand. If you've got, let's go with a round number, 10 cars. Of 10 cars, 5 were there the week before, 5 were there this week. The track allowed them to pay a double pit pass. They were allowed to start in that feature. When the guys have already gone through the heats to qualify for the feature, of those 10 cars, those 5 were already there. They start 1 through 5. The others draw a damn number and start 6 through 10. But no, here's what we're gonna do, folks. Well, second row inside, he was one of the 5 that didn't show up. So whoever's 3rd row inside, you get to move up 2 spots on the start, and all of a sudden you got cars that never even competed, never even tried to do anything, starting in front of the cars that have been there every week and were there and actually qualified for the feature. To me, that just doesn't seem right.
And it's not right. I've done all my racing from the pits. Always been a crew guy. I've seen inside and outside of every scenario. But with lineups, I still don't understand why it's so hard for somebody on the score tower, the promoter, race director, whoever, to crisscross a row to advance position instead of row. Because now essentially you start advancing rows, you just pass 2 cars and all you had to do is move 1 spot forward. It might take a little bit longer to crisscross the rows and move position, but it keeps the drivers a hell of a lot happier.
I'm sitting in the lineup chute for the makeup feature, and a car who's never raced my track, excuse me, I'm on the outside. He is now starting 2 rows on the inside ahead of me. And I'm like, I'm all for racing new cars, and this guy's particular car was a nice car. Actually, I didn't get a chance to go talk to the guy, but I mean, his car was nice, and he's fast. But I wanted to go talk to him and whatnot. So I love the competition. I love a good car count just as much as anybody else. But when I went through the trouble and the hassle of qualifying through the heats, and I got to start 2 rows, almost 5 positions behind the guy that's never been there before, he just paid a pit pass, and because they, instead of crisscrossing him, they just moved the guy up because 2 cars weren't there, so he just moved up 2 rows. And I'm like, something is not right here. And I don't care if it's a draw or redraw night. I don't care. I don't care if you're doing it by point. I don't care how you do it. It's just not right when the guys have been there weekly and they were there to qualify. Keep it fair. There's no way you can convince me that that was right.
Well, and it'd be no different than we go to a track, let's say, that has double features, and we're the new guy in the field. I'd expect to start behind all the regular guys that are there on a weekly basis.
Especially the ones that actually qualified for that feature.
Right. And I mean, it's only fair to do it that way. Is a little more legwork for the track? Probably.
Yeah.
But to keep it fair to the racers, to keep the racers as happy as you can, the racers that support your racetrack crisscross positions. Advance one spot, not one row.
Yeah.
But some tracks under a caution will take 30 minutes to line somebody up because the car on the inside of row 5 was supposed to be outside of row 4, and they're going to keep doing pace laps until they move.
Thank you for bringing that up. I know we're going a little off topic here, but you know, we've pretty much covered lineups pretty well now. The receivers, people, put batteries in the damn things and use them. We've all been there. We've heard the receiver. You've listened to a receiver before. You get the loud static, you know, and whatnot. But we have a receiver, and you're right. At times, it'll take what feels like 30 minutes to get the field lined up when we're all got these receivers or these receiver radios in our helmets. Put a new battery. Hell, put a new battery in for the heat and a new battery in for the feature. There's absolutely no excuse as to why you shouldn't have your receiver working fine. There was one night in another track we raced at. Those people must have gone 15 caution laps to get 2 cars lined up. I'm like, oh my God, are you serious?
And in an instance like that, revert back to how it was 15 years ago, 10 years ago before a receiver. Everybody stops on the straightaway. You got one guy out there pointing at the cars. You hear, you hear, you hear, you hear. Tracks, it's really not that hard. Don't yell into the receiver. Pull the mic away from your mouth a little bit if you need to, because the drivers can't hear it as well a lot of times because it's so muffled. And if you got 1 or 2 or 3 stubborn cars that won't listen to it, send them to the tail of the field.
On this particular night, I will defend the track. They actually had the workers on the edge of the straightaways telling them like this. Well, they weren't in the middle of the cars, but as the cars are coming by, they're telling them, you know, go here, you go over there. And these drivers are just 3 wide, just not caring. And I'm like you, put the damn guys to the back, let's go.
Yep.
You know, the fans don't want to sit around in this 100-degree heat. The crew members that are busting your asses on the cars, you guys don't want to be sitting around in the 100-degree heat. And the drivers, sure as hell, with the helmets and the head socks and the uniforms, they got the exhaust blown back on them. They don't want to be sitting around forever. We want to get in, put on a show, get done, get out of the car, drink beer with everybody, and cool off. The last thing we want to do is be stuck out there on the track for 35 minutes because 3 jackwagons can't listen to the damn receivers. Jesus, I sound like Jamie Songer now. Jackwagons. I mean,
I thought about saying it, but
yeah.
I'm not as cool as Jamie, so I can't.
Yeah, after this week's Songer says Jamie's not cool. So.
Especially when you see pictures of his cars.
Yeah, this is going to be awesome. So, not awesome that his cars are tore up. I don't wish that on anybody. Jamie's a good guy, but anyways, back to what we were talking about. With the lineups, you know, I was going to ask the track promoter about that, but he was having such a good night. Track conditions, that's another issue. Holy hell. I ain't ever going to come back and race this damn track. This track's a joke. Guess who some of the first people in the pits with the car was? The naysayers. Come on, people. Can we make ourselves look any dumber? I mean, I'm trying to carry the load for the racing community myself, but Jamie Songer's not far behind in number 2, but we can only carry so much stupidity.
Wait, you mean Jamie made a top 5?
Well, he got 5 style points. Look at his cars. I mean, look at him. So I'll give him 5 style points. Oh, he's gonna hate me after this show. But you and I talked about it last week. People will run the track down. Ironically, they're the first ones to the track the following week. And to me, that just makes you look ignorant. I mean, I say that, you know, Jamie and I can only carry so much stupidity in racing, but Jamie's a great guy. I'd like to think I'm a great guy. We like to have fun. I mean, you were down at Corning. We like to have a blast. We act stupid and silly and goofy.
With some of those pictures, it looked like you were having a blast.
Yeah. Yeah. But when people sit there and they want to and run down a track and then come back the following week, at that point, I think you look ignorant. I'm sorry. I mean, I understand that you want a good track, you want a racy track, and it's one thing to get mad because the track was rough or had a hole or whatever, but don't sit there and go, I'm not coming back to this track, you stupid. And then come back the very next week and then brag about how nice the track is. I mean, you sound like you're talking in great big old circles, but.
Well, you are at a circle track.
Yeah, I guess we are at a circle track. So, I tell you what, we're gonna take another quick commercial break, and I guess when we come back, we're gonna talk about something else. So stay tuned, or do whatever you want, I don't care. But if you're cool like us, you'll stay tuned and we'll be right back on Slinging Dirt.
Hey guys, I'm Jeff with DriveDirtCars.com. Does your current race operation look like this? Well, if it does, give us a call at 815-990-2657. We're actually financing Harris race cars and CMC crate motor connection crate motors for your racing operation. Our payments range anywhere from $200 to $350 a month. If you'd like to get a new motor or you'd like to get a new chassis, give us a call, 815-990-2657.
Well, welcome back to Slinging Dirt. I guess you're pretty damn cool like we are, because we're still here and you're still here, so it's like the cool kids club, I guess. I don't know. Big news. Todd Cooney.
Who?
Todd Cooney?
Who?
Who's Todd Cooney?
Oh. I like tater tots!
Oh, that guy. Okay.
Yeah. Todd Cooney.
He's the one that ate Casey's out of donuts, right?
Yeah, did you know that when Casey's started sponsoring Todd Cooney, donut sales increased by 37.5% and their stock went up 25%?
Yeah, but that was only at the station across the street from his house.
No, you gotta remember, Todd Cooney travels the Midwest. And have you ever noticed that almost any small Iowa farm town that has a racetrack almost always has a Casey's?
Yeah.
You know, if you go to, I think it's Spencer, Iowa. I'm not for sure, but I think it's Spencer. There's Casey's right across the street from each other.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
How much time do you really have on your hands?
At times, makes me wonder. Maybe a little too much. Yeah, Casey's bought out another gas station company. And so when we're getting the cars wrapped up at Sebasma Race Wraps, or Graphics, I'm at the Casey's and I'm not paying attention. I just look over, I was like, really? So I walked in, I was like, you guys have a Casey's literally right across the street from each other. She goes, well, yeah, we bought out the company, so we turned it into a Casey's. I'm like, how does that work for y'all, competing against yourself? I mean, that's kind of like me standing in the mirror and trying to have an oral debate with myself. And
we don't need to know what kind of oral debate you're having in the mirror.
I mean, I'm trying to argue with myself. Maybe that's a bad analogy, but anyways, with Todd Cooney, we weren't there. We don't know the particulars, so don't blow our phones up. Don't blow up the Facebook page. From what I understand, the promoter at Iowa State Fairground Speedway was having a meeting with Jesus, so to speak, with a crew member in a guy's trailer. I'm not for sure if it was Cooney's trailer, a competitor's trailer, the promoter's. The promoter was in an argument with somebody in a trailer. Todd Cooney was not present. But whatever happened in that trailer ended up getting Todd Cooney banned for 2 weeks from Iowa State Speedway Fairgrounds, or whatever it's called, Iowa State Fairgrounds Speedway. I've never raced there, you have. But to me, enough's enough. Let Todd race. I have seen people hit people in the pits, deliberately at full race speed, roll cars. I'm not going to name the track, but we've all seen the video on Facebook.
Oh, the video's still out there. It still pops up on my newsfeed once a week.
Guess what? Those guys are still allowed to race that track, and somebody could have gotten killed.
Now, they did get a year suspension and fined, but now that all of that's passed, yes, they are more than welcome to come back.
Okay, but with Cooney, we're still 2 years after the fact. I've seen guys haul off and smack the promoter, hit the promoter, knock the promoter out. I've seen guys put the promoter in a chokehold and slam them up against a wall, and they still were allowed to race.
Well, it's like some of these guys, they come in mid-feature. They have to come into pits for whatever reason, black flag, wreck the car, whatever, and they come through full speed, and it's a slap on the hand. Don't do that. Come back next week, though.
Yeah. Now, from what I understand, Cooney did not physically hurt the promoter. He did not do anything to the promoter. And that could be wrong, but this is what I've been told by those that were at the track. Cooney wasn't even in the trailer, and he ends up getting banned. Okay, the promoter is going to have their reason. I respect that. I don't know what their reason is, but I respect the fact that, you know, as the promoter, they can make that call. Keep in mind, Cooney has got a legion of fans like nobody's business. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Cooney's, you know, the patron saint of dirt track racing. Let's be honest. Cooney has done some things, you know, and I think Cooney is a big enough man that he would tell you, you know, he hasn't always done everything by the book either in racing. He can have a temper, he can have some anger, you know, and that doesn't need to be, you know, embellished or even drawn out. But let's look at the good that Todd Cooney does. He helps out with a lot of charities. He's got probably one of the biggest pro racing businesses all over his car, Casey's General Store. Casey's has helped tremendously with dirt track racing. He's got fans from far and wide. He's got people that are watching from New York, Texas, California. I mean, he's not just yes, he races here in the Midwest, but he's known on a much bigger national level.
Well, and not only that, but he's a true racer's racer.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you forgot your impact at home? Here, you can borrow mine. Oh, you didn't have a spare tire for the car? Here, you can borrow mine. And prime example is last week, we went to Alta, Iowa to Buena Vista Raceway in Knoxville, and they offered their shop to us. When we left Alta Wednesday, it was just come straight to our place, park your guys' truck there. You guys can do all your maintenance and all your work. If you need parts, we got parts.
Yeah, 10 of everything, 10 minutes from Carl's.
Just show up.
Less people, racing-wise, would do that. I've known people that would be literally parked across the street from the race shop with a 14-car garage. Sorry, we're using 2 garages, but the others are full. Come to find out they're empty, and they're not gonna let you use their parking lot. Todd will call me, Bud, where are you racing tonight? Me and Sean wanna go somewhere and we wanna race. Well, I was thinking about going here or going there. Well, what gear do you use? Todd has always treated me with the utmost respect. Now, with that being said, being a racer's racer, I don't necessarily want to, let's be honest, piss Todd off either. Todd can have a temper. Todd knows that. But Todd's not the kind of guy that's going to sit there and make excuses. If you want to race him clean, he'll race you clean. You want to race him dirty, he'll race you dirty. You know, it's a give and take with Todd, but for the most part, I see Todd doing a lot for the sport. Helps out with charities, helps out with racers. Like you said, they're opening up their shop for us. They didn't have to open up their shop for us. They're being gracious enough to do that. He's got one of the largest pro dirt track racing businesses, Casey's General Store, all over his car. I mean, and then when you look at the legions of fans, Iowa State Fairgrounds Speedway, they have a frickin' rally. Come on. So to the promoter of the track, you know, in the future, let them race the weekly stuff. When we're hurting for people in the stands and we're hurting for cars on the track, you know, after 2 years, let's put our personal differences aside. You know, it's not about you two, it's about the sport and the fans.
And not to sound greedy on it, but look at it from a business point. How many fans is he going to bring in with him? How many crew guys is he going to bring in with him? How many cheeseburgers and cheese balls are they going to buy?
How many donuts? I'm surprised Casey's General Store has not supplied donuts to some of these racetracks that Cooney races at.
The pizza.
Oh, the pizza! Ooh, in fact, I think it's either Marshalltown or Vinton. It sells Casey's General Store pizza. Yeah, I didn't realize that. I've never raced Marshalltown or Vinton, but...
Say, depending on where you're at, there's a lot of tracks that do like a Godfather's or Valentino's.
Yeah, Casey's though, whew, I mean...
One thing for sure about Casey's Pizza, if you're a driver and you eat it before your feature, you're gonna drive as hard as you can so you don't poop your pants.
You are not racing to win, you are racing to poop. If you drink, or if you eat their pizza. I don't know, on certain nights, you might be able to drink their pizza with some of...
And it's not that the pizza's bad because it is some of the best pizza I've ever had.
We went to...
It is greasy.
We went to Stewart, Nebraska, and we stopped off at Casey's, and what was that pizza that you said you really, really liked? You'd never seen it. Was it Canadian bacon or Canadian sausage?
Oh yeah, they had Canadian bacon pizza sitting on a rotisserie. Every time I go to a Casey's, it's always sausage, beef,
Yeah.
something like that. But they actually had Canadian bacon in a rotisserie, and it's like, holy crap, I'm getting 2 of these.
Yeah, you really like that. I'm a big, I like the Casey's sausage pizza. I like the...
You like the sausage?
Yeah, you're gonna go there, I knew.
Breakfast pizza.
You people that want this fancy pizza, it's beef, sausage, pepperoni, supreme, Canadian bacon. That's regular pizza. Scrambled eggs and whatnot does not belong on a pizza. So my food of choice is Casey's croissants.
I will give you that one too.
Those things rock. The big sausage croissant sandwiches. You know, for 4 years now, and you see this every Monday morning, for 4 years, every single day, Monday through Friday, it's a 1 liter of Dr. Pepper and a Casey's croissant sandwich.
That's why his left side's so high.
Yeah, I try to be nice to my wife and claim it's her cooking. It's actually Casey's.
Sorry, Rachel.
Yeah. Although she made flour encrusted pork chops last night for dinner, and it was the best damn pork chop I've ever eaten.
She makes a pretty good macaroni salad.
Sloppy Joes are pretty good.
I haven't had them.
Oh, they're pretty good.
Anyways, how do we get so far off track from talking about Todd racing at Fair Speedway?
But Todd really does need to let Todd race. It helps the sport. It's going to get you fans in your stands. It's going to get you cars at your track.
You say it's going to bring for sure a lot more fans and crew, which is money spent at the facility. And Todd, he may not have a great big car following that goes with him everywhere, but even if he brings 2 or 3 extra cars, well, those 2 or 3 extra cars will bring 2, 3, 4, 5 extra guys for the pits.
Absolutely.
Those people will bring extra fans for the stands, more concession sales, better crowd count, better car count. Isn't that what we're supposed to be trying to fix here, is get fans and cars and...
Now, I could understand him getting a lifetime ban or from that track if he hauled off and smacked the promoter and knocked him out and put him on his butt. At that point, yes, I can understand that. But if nobody was hurt and it was just a screaming match, how many times have we seen people... I have gone off on promoters to the point where I probably should have gotten banned. Guess where I was the next week? Racing the same track. You know, and I've calmed down in my old age now, but okay, well, I'm simmering now. So, but here's what I want to do. Eventually, it may not be this week, it may not be next week, but I want to get a hold of Todd Cooney. I will let Todd air his side of the story. I want to know straight from the horse's mouth, why are you banned? Why can you not race here? Because, you know, you just, for whatever reason, you have a 4th of July weekend and you're off from Peterbilt. You don't have to race that Friday night. And we know Todd's going to be racing in Des Moines. Would you be open to going?
Hell yeah, I'd go out
and
watch Todd Cooney race.
Yeah, that's one of his best tracks. It's his hometown track. I'd go. But the fact that, you know, you're not going to let Todd race, well, then we're not coming. And everybody's like, well, you've never been here before anyways. Well, no, but we've actually been finding new reasons to go to tracks this year. That would be a good reason. But I'd like to get Todd on the show, you know, maybe.
I've spent 2 years out there at the fairgrounds racing.
Yeah, I've never seen the fairgrounds, so.
I've got 2 championships out there.
Well, so. I tell you what, we're gonna take a quick break and then we're gonna come talk where we're gonna listen to some guy by the name of Jamie Songer talk about something, I guess. It's not very good. In fact, you might just want to skip about 5 minutes forward into the show. So we'll be right back here on Slinging Dirt.
Joe's Karting is the Metro's fastest indoor karting facility. Come to Joe's to experience speed, join the competition, and ride the fastest indoor track around. Our professionally designed indoor karting track is perfect for arrive and drive racing, race classes, and racing competitions. We offer affordable pricing options, membership packages, event outings, and so much more. Stop in today to get registered for your next race, and don't forget to like us on Facebook for deals, giveaways, and more. Visit us online at joeskarting.com.
Hey everybody, well, you've been listening to us here on Slinging Dirt talk about something, and then something, and then something. But boy,
About Casey's. No.
Casey's is something though. Something fell out from my behind. But this next something is
Something that fell out of somebody's behind.
so
It's just a big load of crap.
yeah.
It's Casey's Pizza.
Yeah. So Jamie Songer, we've been listening to him all year. Man, he's a good guy. We've been talking about his Supreme. I don't know where in the world he thinks I'm saying Iowa Enduro. It's Supreme Enduro. I've been saying Supreme Enduro for 29,000 shows now, or whatever it is. So, well, okay, we haven't done quite that many shows, but so Jamie told me that he was going to get me back. We've been teasing him just a skosh here on the show, just a little bit. By the way, not that I'm going to point it out, but while we're talking, here are some of the memes from the contest. So while we're talking, go ahead and look through the memes here. So Jamie Songer is always teasing me about top 10s, top 10, top 10s, top 10s. Oh, hold on, hold the meme contest. Look at these pictures. Now, look at this picture. So here's a picture of my car. Now let's go back to the picture that you just seen. And here's Songer's cars. Once again, my car. You see the difference here? Whose car's wadded up? Just saying.
It's not our car.
It's not our car. So, hey, and we have 2 cars ourselves. But, you know, we've got, quite a few top 10s this year. You know, with all joking aside, though, you've been there for quite a few of them. You know, old Jeff, he's been there for quite a few of them. We've done pretty good this year. We've actually, our program's turned around. But, Songer thought he wanted to get one on me. And so, without further ado, keep watching the meme contest as we play Jamie Songer with Songer Says.
Okay, so recently there's been a spree, just one guy, Buddy Ray Jones, who is claiming to top 10 tonight, best finish of the year, got a top 10. 10 cars finished, jackwagon. 10 freaking cars finished, and you couldn't manage to pass one of the 10. 13 cars started though. Okay, and they all 3 were blown motors and knocking when they pulled out. Alright, that is not a top 10. Top 10 is when there's 80 cars show up and you battle your way to 10th from, even if it's 12th. You moved forward. Moving forward is the name of the racing game. Not started on the pole, got 10th. Very pleased with performance tonight. Dude, your grandmother isn't even impressed with your performance. She's hiding her head in the grandstands. Trying to hide, been in the Kaibo for 2 hours because she don't want nobody to know. She's trying to find a shirt to wear that doesn't say, my grandson is the 25. She's embarrassed. We're all embarrassed. Holy smokes, dude. You started on the pole and you got 10th. 10th. And hey, there wasn't nothing broke on the car, or, here's an idea. Maintenance the damn thing. Holy shit, we're either throwing trannies or we're throwing belts or we're throwing something. I mean, my God, what do you and those guys do in the shop? Play tiddlywinks? I'm surprised. that the whole car doesn't look like a garage sale with parts flying off it every time it turns a corner. I'm just waiting for it. Won't even have to do a meme. We'll just have to have somebody video it. It'll be the biggest comical thing you've ever seen. Lost a few parts today on the track, and then they show a bare frame with nothing. And you've raced the car that night. I mean, come on. Matt Dennis, I feel so sorry for you that you have to, one, help him with this thing, and two, sit there and co-host with him without laughing your ass off every time he says something. You can't even get my Enduro Series right. Hey, Jackwagon, it's Supreme Enduro Series, not the Iowa Enduro Series. That would be, we're just in Iowa. No, we're in Minnesota too, Jackwagon. So just a little helpful hint to Buddy Ray. Maintenance, going forward, and remember your sponsors to get the names of their deals right.
So good old Jamie Songer. I mean, you got a man in a blue man suit, wearing a sports bra, talking crap about a sport mod racer finishing top 10s, and his car once again looks like this. I don't get it, but okay. Although,
One thing's for sure, we know he can use his front bumper
yeah,
and his frame horns and his control arms.
in his hood,
Yeah.
front fenders.
Show off.
Yeah, I mean, I know guys like to go, well, I know we were pretty bad fashioning out, Billy. We used up the car, but Jamie, this is taking a little overboard.
And actually, didn't he say a couple weeks ago something about cars getting wrecked and the back tires coming off the ground because they're lucky jumping tires?
Yeah, is that what he had? He had the lucky jumping tires on.
Don't know what to tell you, Jamie.
I wonder if Jamie put in a stereo, car stereo in his cars, and he had Jerry Lee Lewis playing a whole lot of shaking going on. Just wondering. So, I tell you what, that's about all we got for this week. Ending on that note, a whole lot of shaking going on. This has been Buddy Ray.
Matt Dennis.
This has been Slinging Dirt. We were talking, I told you we'd be talking about something. So we'll be next week with a whole lot more here on Slinging Dirt. So, you know, maybe we can have creative element kind of fade out the show with a whole lot of shaking going on. That'd be awesome. So we'll see you next week.
Let Todd drive.